What's up, guys? It's Austin Rutherford. Today we're talking about wholesaling and how you can do your first deal as quickly as possible. We're going to keep this very clear, concise, and to the point, and you're learning from someone who did over $1 million last year and over $1 million a year before that. So let's get right into it. Wholesaling in its simplest form is you go to the seller, you get an agreement with the seller, let's say to sell the property at $70,000, you get a purchase and sale agreement with the seller, and then you go out and market for a buyer and find a buyer for that same property for, let's say, $80,000. So $70,000 and $80,000, you assign your rights to purchase that property to the end buyer, and then the buyer closes on the property, and then you make the margin in the middle, which in this instance, it'd be you making $10,000. So that's the simplest form of what wholesaling is. It's two parts of wholesaling. One, you gotta have the deal. You gotta be able to market to the deal. You gotta be able to find the seller. You gotta be able to negotiate with the seller. And two, you gotta be able to sell the deal. You gotta have buyers. You gotta go out and market to buyers, find buyers to buy your property. Without either of those pieces, you're done. You're never gonna make money. So that's what we're breaking down today. Finding the deals, finding the buyers, connecting the pieces, getting you paid as soon as possible. Wholesaling houses. The first part to this is the deal. What this means is you have to then market to people to find the right opportunity. The simplest and cheapest form to do this, we call it DFD. Driving for dollars. It means that you pick a neighborhood that you're interested in buying properties at, or a neighborhood that you see potential opportunity. You don't want to go to the highest end market in your city, $1 million houses, because there's probably not a lot of dilapidated houses in those areas. You want to go into an area that has some, gentrification, or that's, coming around. They got old houses and new houses. Something where there's a big difference in houses and condition of houses, because that's where you're going to find the most opportunity. What you do, you print a map from Google Maps of that neighborhood, and then you go out there and you literally drive every street, and you're writing down addresses that for whatever reason they look dilapidated. The snow's not shoveled, the grass isn't cut, the roof's not replaced, the gutter's falling off, the bushes out front are not trimmed. Anything that you think makes it look like the house is not taken care of, maybe even if the house is vacant, any essence that you think somebody may have interest in selling the property, you write that address down and then you market to that person and see if they want to sell the house. So once you write all those addresses down, you then go to the county auditor's website, and then that'll tell you who the homeowner is. So you type in 123 East Main Street, and then it'll say, Joe Schmo owns the property. And then that is the person you want to contact to see if they have any interest in selling. So there's 3 ways you can contact these people. You can door knock, which keep in mind, door knocking, you might not get the best welcoming party at the door. Some people may think it's rude. You can do that. It's the quickest, easiest way to get to somebody, but you may get the most pushback from it. Number 2 is to send them direct mail. DM is direct mail. So you go to the auditor, you see who owns it, you look at the mailing address, it might be that house or it might be another house, meaning that they're using it as a rental property maybe. And then you send them mail. You say, hey, Joe Schmo, I was just reaching out to see if you had any interest in selling your property 123 East Main Street. So you can send direct mail to those people. And lastly, you can cold call. When you go to the auditor and find the owner of Joe Schmo, you can cold call that person, which means you can type them into Facebook, see if you find one in your city, and direct message them and say, hey, I was just reaching out seeing if you had any interest in selling. You can skip trace them. You can use a company like needtoskip.com to skip trace it, or you can just Google skip tracing and a whole bunch of skip tracing services will come up. And what that means, you put the name and the address in, and then they give you possible phone numbers that would be that person. And then you pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, you got any interest in selling the property? And you want to get in front of them. The goal is to get in front of them, get on the phone with them, and start having a conversation. We're going to get into the whole evaluation process here in a second, but that's the simplest way to get into the game and to get deals. This you can do today. You can go drive a neighborhood right now. Number 2 is you buy a list. So what this means is you go out and purchase a list of potentially motivated sellers. You can get a high equity absentee list. And where you get that is listsource.com. Go to listsource.com and then you can search by zip or county of all the areas that you like. So if you want to be very specific and go to one zip code, or if you got a big marketing budget and you want to go to a whole county, you can pull exactly the places that you want to market to, and then you can market to those people. So go to listsource.com, pull the zip codes or the counties that you want, go to mortgage, loan to value, high equity. So we do 70% or more of equity in the property. And then on the last tab on ListSource, it'll say owner occupied or non-owner occupied. Absentee is NOO, is non-owner occupied, meaning that it's probably a rental property for them. So you go there, purchase a list, same thing, high equity absentee. So you either buy the list, send them direct mail immediately, or you buy the list, skip trace it, then you cold call them. So you pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I was just reaching out to see if you had any interest in selling your property 123 East Main Street. Then if they got interest, they'll say yeah. Or if they don't, they'll tell you to screw off, and then you just put them on a follow-up. And then once they are interested, you start having a conversation with them. And they say, hey, yeah, I am interested in selling the property. Ask about the condition, the details. We'll be dropping a video soon about how to have phone conversations with sellers. So make sure you look at the page and look for that video. There's a way to have conversations. There's certain questions you want to ask, there's certain details you want to get. But once somebody says they're interested and you get to what you think could potentially be the right price for the property, here's how you evaluate it. So you take the ARV, which the ARV is the after repaired value, meaning that once the property is fully fixed up, what it's worth when it's fully fixed up. So you take the ARV, you multiply that by 70%, and then you subtract the repairs from that. So if it's got $10,000 of repairs, you subtract 10 grand. If it's got $100,000 of repairs, you subtract 100 grand. So minus repairs, and then you gotta subtract your fee. So if you wanna make $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000, whatever it is, you gotta subtract your fee from this, minus fee equals MAO. And your MAO is your maximum allowable offer. The highest price you can pay to have somebody, another rehabber, to be able to wholesale the property to an end buyer and you still make money. So that's what the formula looks like. And we actually have a video, if you check the link in the description, it's how to evaluate deals from your desktop. And it goes through this entire formula, it goes through comps, it goes through pooling data, it goes through everything you need to know to come up with these numbers. So make sure you check that link in the description. Let's just take, for example, the ARV, the after repaired value, is $100,000, 100K. So you multiply that by 70%, which would give you $70,000. Let's say it needs $30,000 of repairs, minus 30K. Let's say you want to make $5,000 on this deal, minus 5K. That gives you $35,000 is your maximum allowable offer. $35,000 is how much you can offer this seller to sell you the property to then go out and find an end buyer for your deal. So that's how you evaluate. Like I said, check the video in the description for the link. Let's say you offer 35K, seller says, yes, I'm interested. Boom, your heart rate start racing. You get nervous, you don't know if you overpaid for the property. Step number one, that's how you get step number one. So from that point, you sign a purchase and sale agreement with your seller, $35,000 with your seller. If you're watching this right now, we have a video on purchase and sale agreements coming out in the next week or two. Sign a purchase and sale agreement. Now you gotta find the buyer. This will make you money if you follow these steps. The first way to find a buyer is to go to local real estate meetups. When you go to these places, other real estate investors are in these places. I've met a lot of people that I've bought deals from, that I've sold deals, borrowed money from. So this is a tremendous way to meet people in your industry. But where I see people mess up, they'll go to these meetups and they'll stand in the corner of the room and not talk to anybody. If you don't go there and meet and network with people, you're wasting your time. That's how I was at the beginning. I would hunker down and just be like, start sweating when I had to talk to somebody. Meet others, go up and shake people's hands. When I go to meetups, I wanna meet 3 people. I wanna meet people that can wholesale me deals, that I can buy deals from. So I want to talk to wholesalers, which would be people like yourself. I wanna meet people that I can sell my deals to. And I wanna meet someone who can lend me private money. People go to local real estate meetups to meet other people to make money. They're there for that reason. You have to go up and shake people's hands. You want to build a buyer's list. So you want to have a list of people with, hundreds or thousands of names, phone numbers, and emails. So you can, whenever you do get a deal, you already have these relationships built. So you don't have to scramble to get a buyer. You already have the relationships and you just call your list of buyers and you sell the deal. Very, very simple. So when you go to these meetups, meet people, get their name, phone number, and email address, and then go home and put it into your buyer's list spreadsheet, and then call those people as you get deals. Number 2 is through sheriff sale. Every county has sheriff sales, so properties go for sale every single week on Friday. People there have to buy these properties with cash. When you go to these properties, they're cash buyers. They're real buyers. They're buying properties on the dot with cash. As soon as the meetup's done, meet people, introduce yourself. Hey John, I see you just bid on a property 123 East Main Street. I either have a prop kind of close to that area, or I will have properties in the future in that area. Can I get your email address and phone number so I can send you some of these opportunities to help you make more money? Boom, add them to the buyers list. Third way is Facebook group. Get on Facebook, search those groups, join those groups, and start following trends. People will post a deal like, yo, I got this property 123 East Main Street. I got an assignable contract for $70,000. If you got any interest, comment below, I'll send you the details. Message those people and say, hey, I see that you just commented on a property that you have interest in buying. If I get a property in the future, or I have this property right now, are you interested in buying? Can I get your email and phone number so I can let you know of any of these opportunities coming up? Boom. And then when you do get a deal, you want to be one of those people saying, hey, I got this property at 123 East Main Street. It's a signable contract for sale at $80,000. Message me for details. And then you can send them pictures. So you want to use Facebook to your advantage. And again, during all this, you want to be building an Excel spreadsheet of all your buyers. And the fourth reason, easiest way to build buyers list, is other rehabs. When you're driving around town and you see other houses being worked on, it's an investor that bought the house and is renovating the house, meaning that they buy houses. Walk up into the rehab, say, hey, who owns this property? Or if there's a contractor, say, hey, can you put me in contact with the owner of this property? Talk to that person, tell him you got a property down the street, or you will have a property down the street, and see if he's interested in buying more properties. Investors, buyers, rehabbers get paid to buy properties. They want to buy properties from you. You just have to talk to them. You have to build that relationship and then sell them deals. So just to review this, you gotta get the deal. Driving for dollars, simplest, quickest, easiest way. Next way, buy a list from ListSource. Come up with your offer using this formula. Again, link in the description below to how to evaluate properties, sign the purchase and sale agreement, boom, now you gotta find a buyer. Let's say you're buying from the seller at 70K, you got an end buyer at 80K. You are assigning your rights to purchase this property to your end buyer for $80,000. We have a video in about 10 days, how to fill out an assignment agreement. Your end buyer closes $10,000 to you for connecting a seller and a buyer. You get paid. Do not quit. It took me 16 months from the day I got started in real estate to make a penny, and I was marketing every week of those 16 months. Too many people delay, too many people want things, later in life. Start right now so you can start making money. If you did enjoy this, please hit that like button below. YouTube loves the like button. Drop that like for me, please. Subscribe if you want more content like this. You'll get a notification. If you got any questions, any concerns, anything didn't make sense, comment below so I can clarify everything for you. And we'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you guys being here.